Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everybody and Assalamu alaikum. So we are going to start our lecture number 20, and that is about earned value management. Earned value management, we have talked about the importance of earned value management, and the other day we were discussing the basics or prerequisite to have started this methodology on a project. Okay. So earned value management concepts were discussed in the last lecture. Let's have a summary of that lecture. So the other day we were talking about earned value management concept. What is it? What is the importance of earned value management? And why this is so important, and then we had talked about earned value management and WBS concept. What is the relationship between EVM and WBS? So if we want to have a very good EVMS, earned value management system, we have to follow a few steps. We are going to re-narrate those steps in upcoming slide, but for this moment we will discuss the importance of WBS. Remember, while we were developing this budget thing, and then we had used this WBS, okay, and then by that time we were having the budgets of individual work packages, and we have summed up the estimate of the work packages, and hence we've got the budget of control accounts, and then summation of the control accounts budget estimates were actually leading to the estimate of a project. So in that case, when we are doing the budget thing or estimate thing, we are going bottom up and concept, and when we are doing budget thing, that is we are going for top down approach. We actually give the values from top to lower order, and then if we add all these value in lower order like activity level, we get the cumulated amount that is equivalent to the amount or estimate or budget for work package. So for this was for budgeting part, and then we were having this thing for time management as well. We had used this WBS for the sake of first defining activities. We have actually divided our work packages into manageable work elements, and those are called activities. And then we had used this WBS for for the use of sequencing the activities as well. And while we were using the top-down and bottom-up approach for estimation and budgeting, we cannot use this approach while we want to have the total duration of the project. Okay, so for the total duration of the project, we develop schedules, and for schedules we are having this PERT technique available, and CPM method is available. We are going to do a few case studies on network diagrams, CPM, PERT, and earned value management in upcoming session. So this was a relationship. There is a very good, a very clear relationship between EVM and WBS. So you are in need of a WBS to have a very good EVM. And why this WBS is needed? You want to actually put somebody responsible for one work package or one control account or activity even. So then you are in need of that breakdown of the project into manageable pieces, so that you can put somebody responsible for one part of that project. And so then you are in need of some structure for your project organization. Okay, so like you may be having the same organizational chart type thing for your project as well, which is headed by the project manager or the sponsor or program manager, whatever. But then you are having a project manager, and project manager have few team members available, right? So team member A will do what, team member B will do what, team member C will do what. So you are having a very good work breakdown structure with you, and then OBS, organizational breakdown structure. You may use, as far as responsibility assignment is concerned, RACI, RAM, things like that, but then you have to actually assign one very responsible person for one work package or control account or even activities, whatever you actually deem fit for your project and for your work. So then we had talked about how to develop a WBS and what is the relationship between EVM and WBS and OBS and WBS, how to integrate both of them, how to integrate WBS with OBS, so you can have a very clear understanding if who is responsible for what. So then you have developed that. Then we had learned how to develop this PMB, and PMB is performance measurement baseline. Remember elements of the contract baseline. We are having the contract price, and the contract price was divided into contract price or project price was divided into two elements, that was cost and profit, okay, and this cost is divided into project cost or project base budget, or and then or base budget for project or cost CBB, cost base budget. So you know the thing remain, you know, base budget, okay, and then you were having this PMB thing, and there was another thing, and that was management reserves. And then for PMB you are having further divided into, you know, distributed and undistributed budgets, and then you know, contingencies and control accounts. So this type of diagrams you must have remembered by the time now, okay. So over there we are having this thing, PMB, performance measurement baseline. So performance measurement baseline actually points to something for which we actually assess our project on, and then this is the integration of both the schedule and the time and scope as well. So anything going beyond or upper side of that line is you know, not good, and anything which is remaining below that is okay, and most of the cases, okay. And then we have talked about earned value concept, the definition of earned value. Earned value is basically whatever was the planned work we have to complete as far as amount is concerned, or in monetary terms. So we had actually this planned thing, and then out of that plan, how much we have actually completed by that particular point in time on which we are actually doing this exercise of EVM. And that is called earned value. And what is planned value? Anything, any planning or we had done before we started the project or during the project, we have these approved changes included our initial plan value will become existing plan value, and that will become the planned value, okay. So actual cost is nothing else but the actual cost, okay. So only point, these are very simple ones, and this is a bit tricky, so we are going to talk about that in this class, and then we will have a very good exercise of that. And then again, this slide has already been shown to you earned value management is following steps. The first step is establish a performance measurement baseline. And we have learned how to develop and establish a performance measurement baseline in our previous session. So what we have to do is decompose work scope to manageable level. So you mean WBS over there, okay? And then WBS is further divided into activities. In define activities of time management part of project management, we actually have decomposed our work packages even into activities. So the point remains that project should be divided into such detail that things can be controlled effectively and efficiently, okay? So then assignment of the unambiguous management responsibility. Who will be the responsible? Who will be the who will be doing the work? Who will be informed? Who will inform? You know, all these things should be very much clear while you are actually having this PMB thing and earned value management thing. So there is no point if you are having that system available, but you do not have that responsible person with you. So then develop a time-phase budget for each work task. We have done that in budgeting part of our sessions in this course. So time-phase budget mean you are having the budget of total project, and then you are actually giving you are dividing that total budget for your control accounts, and then control accounts are further divided into work packages. And you do know when the work packages, or then work packages through activities even. So you do know that when for how long your project will take. You do have time management processes effective, intact, and then you are having like one activity will take 2 months, and you are having budget of 20,000 rupees, and you assume that the progress will be same throughout 2 months. You will say that in month number 1, that activity will consume half of the total budget, that was 20,000. Hence, in first month you will spend about 10,000, and for second month you will spend 10,000. So this will make 20,000, which was the budget of that activity, okay? So we have learned this thing as well in previous session and in relevant sessions of cost management and time management. So then select earned value measurement technique for all the tasks. We haven't done that thing by this time. So this is not done by this point in time. But we will learn how to select earned value, and we haven't done then this part, but we are going to do that, okay, in today's lecture. So let's start to have a overview what we were actually doing the other day. Okay, so we were developing this time phase budget and planned value. So these values are, remember where these values are coming from? Budgeting concept, okay? So we had estimated the cost somewhere in cost management part of project management, and then we have negotiated our contract with the client, and then we were having that project price, negotiated project price, and then we have divided that price into the profit and cost, and then cost was divided among the control accounts, and control accounts were divided into work packages, and work packages were divided into activities. So from that exercise we've got all these values, okay? For 6 activities we were having these 6 cost budget values. And then this thing, what is that? That is the duration of activity of 2, this is duration of activity 3, this is duration of activity 4. So this was done in time management part of project management, and that is called Gantt chart over there, and Gantt chart is nothing else but the horizontal bar chart, which show on one axis there are activities, on second axis, that is x-axis, we are having time scale. When we are having this thing, so this activity number 1 will be completed in 2 months. And how did we, whether this activity would be completed in 2 months or not? So that was done in, through CPM and PERD and stuff like that. So expert judgment and Delphi techniques, we can use a lot of stuff to estimate the duration of one activity. We have talked this thing in detail in relevant part of our course. So you have to recap all that stuff, okay? So after that, we had actually distributed our 12 into 6 plus 6, 48, and how did we have discussed this thing. So then we were having this summation of all the amounts required in this month, and then we had completed this column by adding like 12 plus 7 is 19, 21, 18 plus 4 is 22, 8, 10, 6, 8, 8. So in this fashion we have completed our this row, okay? And then we were having that summation column, cumulative row, and this 6 will be added with 0, and 6 plus 14, 20, 20 plus 12, 32, 32 plus 16, 48, 48 plus 19, 67, 67 plus 21, 88, and hence we've got one value 150, that is called budget at completion, okay, BAC. So usually most people, they say that there are 3 elements of EVM, that is planned value, earned value, and actual cost. But many people, they are of the opinion that BAC is also one of the element, okay? But the last planned value will be the BAC, okay, in most of the cases. And then we have drawn that 6 according to the time. So we are having 12 months, and in month 1 we are in need of 6. In month 2 we are in need of 20. So this 20 will be plotted over there, this 6 will be plotted over there, and these 32 will be plotted over there, 48 will be plotted over there, and 67 will be plotted over there, 88 is plotted over there, 110 is plotted over there, and 150 is plotted over there. When you have plotted this, and then you actually have a line through that, so this line shows your PMB, performance measurement baseline. So and this is also called a planned value chart. So 3 basic elements we were talking about. Well, these are 3: planned value, earned value, and actual cost. And then obviously, as many people, they actually call is budget at completion as the 4th one, PAC. So that is AC, and that is EV, and that is PV. So this is how we actually planned value. We have learned how we develop this planned value line, and what is planned value. Like in 7th month the planned value will be 110, in 8th month the planned value will be 118, and in 10 months the planned value will be 134, and in 11th month the planned value will be 142. So this is how we can have the planned values, okay? And earned value is the planned value which we have completed. So we were planning that we will complete some part of project by month number 3, and we have completed that. So that planned value will become earned value. We are going to talk about that in detail, okay? So then actual cost. So we were having this, let's say we were having 2,000 units which we had to build, and the rate, and then we have the rate was 5 Ps per unit. So the PSC was kind of 2,000 multiplied by 5, and that is 10,000. But what is actual cost? Like after 6 months we have developed 800 units at the rate of 7 rupees per unit. So what will be the actual cost then? Actual cost will be 7 times 800, 5,600 rupees is the actual cost. So actual cost is whatever we have spent it by any point in time. Okay, so how we find out earned value and earned value measurement techniques we are going to talk. There are 3 of them, but we will start with what is earned value, and then how these methods can be used to have understanding of earned value. Okay, so earned value is a measure of work performed and a snapshot of a work progress at a given point in time. So remember one thing, the snapshot, and that is also called as baseline. So baseline is snapshot of the planned thing. Okay, so if we have planned something, so the snapshot of that thing and the planning thing is called baseline, but the snapshot of actual progress is called earned value. So the method for measuring work performed are selected during project planning prior to commencing the works, and are the basis for the performance measurement during project execution. So these are very important. When should you actually select the methods for measuring work performed? During project planning and before we start the work. Okay, and these are the basis of performance measurement during project execution. The earned value methods are generally assigned and applied to work packages. Each work package has its own unique characteristic. Therefore, there is not one single best way to measure the progress. Okay, so if we are having this project, let's say, and we are having WBS, construction of house. So if we are having work package like land acquisition, and then we are having this thing design, and let's say third work package is construction. Now all these are different things. Land acquisition is rather an art, than science. So you have to you are in need of interpersonal skills to have better communication and better negotiation. For that you may have to go and have surveys, and so there would be different method to measure earned value for this work package. Whereas design, that is is more kind of services part. There is nothing as tangible, though you get those drawings, but one drawing which is very much similar to the other one may have different level of effort on both of them. Okay, because that is the design which is being used, and now this is another design which you have customized with your architect or engineer, and now you have worked something special, and there are minor changes, but those changes have taken more time than even the total time of preparing the design number one. So design is total different thing. Then you will use different earned value technique for design, and then land acquisition, and then you come to construction. This is the part of your project where physically you are constructing or building something. So you are actually constructing these walls, foundations, and DPC, and doors, windows, and you know, roofing and finishes, and plastering and paints, and you know, woodwork, kitchen work, washrooms, and stuff like that, and lawns. So over there you are actually working and to have some tangible deliverables. That thing is not available when you are having this design thing, you know. If you are constructing 5-marla house with the same specification in one location, and you are having the same stuff on the second location, you know, you must be having 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms in that, and 2 or 3 bedrooms in first. Okay, so this is the point where these actually differ. So according to 3 different packages of one even project, you will use different earned value technique. How to measure? You will measure the performance or progress of this work package differently than of this and then of this. Okay, so what would you say? How much land acquisition we have done if we are into negotiation? Okay, so the you haven't bought anything, but your project manager is telling you that, okay, sir, madam, we have reached to a point of agreement, and sooner or in a week time we will be signing a contract, and after 1 week this project manager tells you that we have signed initial memorandum of understanding, and now we are going to transfer that plot or piece of land in your name. So again, you haven't anything physically available, but you know, the project team is actually working over there, and they are going to have one thing. So you will actually select the progress, or understand the progress, or record the progress of that activity or work package. That would be a different story. When it comes to design, you have to prepare like 6 drawings, and one of your project manager or one of your team member has told you, okay, we are having these 5 drawings. That does not mean not at all mean that you have done your 5/6 work, you know, and rather you must be understanding that you are might be 5 elements they have completed by, or 5 drawings they have completed, may have a different level of effort, whereas for the 6th one the level of effort is more, so hence you will use different earned value management technique for that. Construction, and that is very tangible. You know, you can have and go, okay, we had to construct like 100-meter walls, and well, we have completed 50-meter walls. So how much work we have done? 50%. It is quite straightforward, okay? And then, okay, we had to pour the concrete of, let's say, 10 cubic meter, and 8 cubic meter has been poured. So you can tell easily that 80% of the concrete pouring has been completed. So you will use different earned value management technique for that particular tangible, deliverable part of your project. So see how work packages dictate and direct the usage of earned value techniques. Okay, so we are going to talk about different types of techniques over there. Okay, so for all this discussion, now we will move towards how many techniques we are having to record earned value. Okay. So there are three of them generally, and those are called discrete effort, portioned effort, and level of effort. Okay. So discrete effort, we will talk firstly on that. What is discrete effort method of earned value management? Okay, so discrete effort is an activity that can be planned and measured and that yields a specific output. So anything which can be planned and measured and that has some output, specific output, we do know what is that. So discrete effort is directly related to specific end products or services with distinct and measurable points and the outputs that result directly from the discrete output. Okay. As far as products are concerned, we have talked and we have given this example of construction. Okay. So let's have a example of services over there. So like you have to design a road, and for that you are in need of let's have another example. I mean, that is more understandable. I must have the company of non-engineers as well. So let's have this thing, and we are having an example of we are taking up this project and we have to develop this course curriculum. Okay, and let's say we are having these work control curriculum development is a project, and then study existing systems and then we are having draft system, and let's say we are having the third work package, and though that is a published book, and then deliver books. Okay, so studying existing systems, we have actually gone for activity resource estimation, and then we have found out that we'll be in need of 10 PhD doctors, and those are subject area specialists, and they will spend 5 hours each to study, and hence how many hours we are having? 50 hours. Okay, and we must have some period for them, like we say like 50,000 rupees per hour. So we are having a probable cost of that, right? So so that is the unit, 50 hours and 10 resources, and for 5 hours. Okay, so if 8 doctors have studied for 3 hours each, so we are having 24. Now we can have a very good idea how much we have, like 50% about. Okay, so this is an example of how we have this discrete effort usage as far as services are concerned. Similarly, we can have an example of the design of a house again, and then we do know that the number of hours an architect will spend on the design of elevation, or number of hours a structural designer will spend on the structural design of your house. So number of hours are actually multiplied with the number of hours, and hence we get the cost. So we do know that if we are having this number of hours available, or man months or stuff like that, and out of those we have spent something, we can actually assess how much we are left with. Okay, so this is the concept of discrete effort. And then there are 4 more measurement methods are available for assignment to work packages classified as discrete effort. These are fixed formula, weighted milestone, percent complete, physical measurement. Okay, so let's have 4 before we go back again to the basic 3 things. We have discussed discrete effort, we will discuss apportioned effort and a level of effort, but before we go to remaining 2, we will discuss 4 methods given over there. So a fixed formula assigns a specified percentage of the budget value of the work package to the start milestone of the work packages, and the remaining budget value percentage is assigned when the work package is complete. So if we are having 2 months duration of one activity, and the cost is 200 million, we will assign a certain percentage at the start. There are further, this method fixed formula is further divided into like 50-50, like we will assign. Okay, so when this activity is started, we will say 100 million is EV. EV will be 100 million whenever this activity is started, and though the activity may take 2 months, but you have assigned earned value at the start, and then obviously these figures are very crude, 100 and 200. Practically that is not a good example, but for the sake of your understanding, I'm actually giving it to you. So we are having, and what would be the earned value after 2 months, and suppose we have completed our activity in 2 months time, then earned value will become 200. Okay, so there are many methods like 50, 50, 25, 75, 100, 0, 100. Okay, so the 50-50 method and 25-75 method are typical and effective methods for detailed, small and short duration. Over there we were missing all these things. In that example the duration was huge, 2 months, that is not small duration, and short duration, and small we were having 200 million, that is huge, not small. Okay, so okay, very good example would have been like 20,000 and duration is 1 week. Now that would have been a better example. Okay, a critical point necessary to ensure correct usage of fixed formula method is that the sum of the milestones in a work package in any given time period must equal to budget value, that is PV in that time period. We are going to explain that. Okay, for this example we are having EV 100. Okay, so that is start EV, and then end EV will be 50-50 formula. We are using 50-50 method, so 100 million, and if we sum this thing, 200 million, which was the planned value. Okay, so the summation should remain. Okay, we take this example, 20,000 the first week, and start EV, and we are using 25-75, 5,000, and EV is 16,000. and the summation is 21,000. But that is not equal to 20,000. Hence, this will provoke over there, so that is wrong. We have to be 15,000 to have, okay? So that is very important. We should have different, if we are having two milestones over there, for that example, we are having fixed formula as having only two milestones, start and end, okay? We credit something at the start and we end the remaining with hence the summation of the start milestone earned value and end milestone earned value should be equal to planned value. And remember, earned value is what whatever we had planned and we have completed it, okay? So the choice of fixed formula should be made based on the nature of the work being accomplished, so that the resulting PV and EV is representative of how the work will be executed. And this is the figure that will explain the stuff. Okay, let's say we are having this project X and we are having a work package 1.1.4, and that is about seed. We have to develop or create that seed. So 1.1.4 is a work package number 4 of control account number 1 of project 1. Okay, so we are having two milestones I've already explained, and that is start of the activity and finish of the activity. So there are different methods we have already told about, that is 25-75, 50-50 and 0. You do not credit anything at the start, but you credit only when you complete that task, okay? So if we are and total BAC or planned value is $4,400. Okay, so if we are having that 25-75, so 25% of 4,400 is 1,100. So that will be the earned value at the start, and earned value at the finish. You will credit the remaining 75% by that time, and hence you will get $3,300. And when it comes to 50-50, so you take 50% of 4,400, and that is 2,200. You will credit earned value at the start 2,200, and at the finish you will be having 2,200 at the end of your activity. Okay, and for 0 to 100 method, we are having 0% credit or $0 at the start of the activity, and 4,400 at the end of the finish on the finish of the activity. Remember, there is one very important point. You are actually assigning these numbers, or you are using this method, and where should you decide when to go for what method, okay? At the planning stage, before you actually start executing. We have talked about that. Okay, so using the 50-50 fixed formula method shows earned value of 2,200 or 50% of the work planned and credited for the measurement period in which the work begins, regardless of how much work has actually been accomplished. The remaining earned value of 2,200 or 50% is credited when the work is completed. The start and finish milestone values summarize this plus this will give this, okay? Summarize the work package BAC of 4,400. Similarly, we can have another example. We have discussed that. Okay, another method that is called weighted milestone. Milestone is a significant point or event in the project. So the weighted milestone method divides the work package into measurable segments, each ending with the observable milestone. It then assigns a weighted value to the achievement of each milestone. The weighted milestone method is more suitable for longer duration work packages. So this figure shows you over there. So this is about planned value rows, and these are earned value, okay? So So first milestone, second milestone, and third milestone, and this diagram shows you that this milestone has been achieved. Okay, so this milestone has been achieved. Like if we had to develop 8 drawings, let's say, and we have developed 6 drawings, and the milestone was, first milestone was on 2 drawings, then 4th and 6th and 8th. So there were 4 milestones. How many milestones we have achieved if we have developed 6 drawings? So we have achieved 3 milestones, and 4th one is left. For that particular example over there, there is a work package breaking system of Project X, and for that we have only gained only 1 milestone, and hence that planned value is actually earned value. Okay, so that is how we have this thing. So earned value is accumulated as milestones are completed. So after second milestone, like if we are having $2,000 or like, okay, so by that time we assume that this was the value for, not this one, that is kind of, okay, let's say we are having that 3920. Okay, so we have achieved as well. Now what would be the earned value? Not 3920, but 7840 will be the earned value. So this will be the earned value after achieving this first milestone. Then earned value will become this, and then earned value become this. So cumulative milestone will be the. And then the third one is the percent complete. So the percent complete method shows an estimate of the percentage of work that is completed at the end of each measurement period. Okay, so this method should be based on objective and quantifiable work completion. The planned value is determined by the time-phased resources required to accomplish the work package. The earned value is determined by multiplying the work package BAC by the percent complete. Percent complete should be determined in an as objective manner as possible, as objective as possible. Okay, so let's have these milestone. Okay, so this figure shows that a work package that is 1.3.1 of Project X, and that is front wheel with a budget of $15,600. When selecting this method, at the end of the second measurement point, 67% of the work is planned to be completed. Therefore, 15,600 multiplied by 67% equates to 10,400 for the cumulative planned value by that time. So after, let's say this is 1 month and this is second and this is third. So after second month we had this planned value of 10,400. Okay. In actuality, the organization accomplished 70% of the work at the end of the second measurement point, thus resulting in the earned value of 10,920. So we have actually multiplied 70% with that total amount, and hence we've got that. Okay. So that is earned value. It is important to note that work hours expanded does not equal deliverables work completed. For example, 50 hours of effort expended on a work package plan for 100 hours does not mean most of the cases that 50% of the work has been accomplished. Okay. And then fourth method is about physical measurement. The physical measurement, unlike the weighted milestone and the percent complete, can be related more explicitly to the completion of the work. Measurement can include any units that can be explicitly related to the completion of the work. Okay, so that is examples may include the length of cable laid, the area and quantity of concrete poured, and the quantity of spokes in the case of bicycle's wheel. So the method of measurement and specific measurement with the cost or effort spent should be defined and agreed upon in advance. So we have talked about discrete effort method in detail, and there are 4 methods for discrete effort, and then we are going to start with the apportioned effort thing. And apportioned effort is used for work with a direct supportive relationship to discrete work. The value of the support task is determined based on the earned value of the reference-based activity. Example maybe like we are having this contract to construct a road, and road is very tangible thing. We can actually measure how much work we have done, and to monitor the performance of the contractor, we do have a supervisory consultant. So the progress of that consultant will be directly directly proportion to the effort of the contractor. So whatever the contractor is working, how much length he is or she is making, similarly we can have how much work has been completed by supervisory consultant. So this is a very good example. Another examples may be quality assurance, inspection and testing activities. And apportioned work effort is estimated as percentage of the reference discrete work effort. So 30% road is completed, hence 30% inspection is been carried out. Okay. So the percent allocation to discrete effort is used when there are sufficient performance records and knowledge of the interrelationship between the apportioned effort and the discrete effort. So this is this slide shows you that. So this is about earned value. In figure, the discrete effort at the second measurement point is 5,200. Okay. The apportioned effort is 10% of the discrete effort, hence that would be the apportioned effort. In actuality, the actual discrete effort accomplished at the end of the second period was 7,800 rather 5,200. Okay. Rather, we had to complete 5,200, but we have completed 7,800. Hence, the apportioned effort value at the second measurement point would be 10% of 7,800, and that is 780. And the last earned value management technique is level of effort. Okay. So level of effort activities do not directly produce definitive end products that can be delivered or measured directly, objectively. And LOE work such as project or program management and contract management consume project resources and should be included in EVM planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, directing process groups. So level of effort is not necessarily characterized by a uniform rate of work over a period of time. So more people you are having through execution and lesser people you must be having in closure in most of the cases, and then the level of effort will be quite different. A planned value is assigned to each level of effort task for each measurement period, and this planned value is credited as earned value at the end of the measurement period. So this figure shows the earned value equal to the planned value at all measurement points. So whenever you are having this completed, that would be your earned value, that would be your earned value, and that would be your earned value. So that is very straightforward. Okay. Okay, so that's it. That's all about the theory part. We had talked about earned value management, and then we had given a detailed discussion on earned value management techniques, how to actually credit earned value. Now let's have the practical thing. That is very simple method. I mean, okay. So while we will be doing that stuff, you will have wow expression then. Okay. So let's start it with this performance analysis and forecasting. So we have talked about earned value, planned value, budget at completion, and actual cost. Now some derived matrices, and through those matrices we will have variances. So we will talk about variances, and variances, so this is what you are in need of, and you are going over there. So there is a point which is variance, okay? So you are going that much above the line, okay? This is what we wanted, and this is where you are. So this much is missing part, okay? So schedule variance is EV minus PV, earned value minus planned value. So the comparison of amount of work performed during a given period of time to what was scheduled to be performed. It determines whether a project is ahead or behind schedule. And the formula is very straightforward, EV minus PV. The schedule variance can be expressed as percentage by dividing the schedule variance, and schedule variance formula is given over there. By PV, a negative variance means the project is behind schedule. So if we are having 32 earned value and 48 planned value minus 16%, that's mean unfavorable. The project is behind schedule, and hence we can have percentage schedule variance minus 33%. That means we are actually doing only 33%. We are using the time up to 33% of that worth, And then CV, cost variance, a comparison of the budget cost of work performed with actual cost. It shows whether a project is under or over budget. And cost variance can be expressed as percentage by dividing the cost variance by the earned value. So for that schedule variance, we were actually dividing schedule variance by planned value, but for that we are dividing by earned value. So let's have an example. CV, if we are having EV 32 and AC is 40, so minus 8. Hence we are actually doing we are not doing good. We are over budget. And how much? 25% over budget, okay? And another variance is VAC, variance at the completion. So that is BAC minus EAC, and EAC estimate at completion. So this shows the team whether the project will finish under or over budget by subtracting EAC from the BAC. A negative variance indicates that units by which the project will be completed. So minus 37.50 mean we are in need of more, like if the units are in million, so we are in need of 37.5 million more, okay? And there are indices, indicators. These were the variances. This is what we want, and this is how much we are varying from that mean value, okay? This much, or this much, okay? And then indices, there is one index, that is SPI, Schedule Performance Index, and then there is another index, CPI, Cost Performance Index, and then there is index to Complete Performance Index. SPI gives us, and the formulas are given over there. We are going to use those formulas over there. So SPI gives you how effectively we are using time, and Cost Performance Index, how effectively we are using the costs, and TCPI index, what efficiency we are required if we want to complete our project. And then Cost Schedule Index, so that is another good index. And some forecast, we have talked about EAC, estimated completion, so that is the formula. So BAC by CPI, that is, and ETC is estimate to complete, and EACT, time estimate to completion, how much time we are in need to complete that. So let's have this example, okay, before we finish our lecture. So if we are having planned value 55,000, ये कहाँ से आई? ये वहाँ से आई जहाँ हमने बजट बनाया था और शेड्यूल बनाया था, वहाँ से ये हमें प्लान वैल्यू है, जो हमने ये काम किया था और हमने बताया था कि ये वहाँ से आएगी. अर्नड वैल्यू की 49,000, ये कहाँ से आई? हमने अर्नड वैल्यू टेक्निक यूज़ की. एक्चुअल कॉस्ट हमने बेसिकली अपना अकाउंटिंग का सिस्टम यूज़ किया और वहाँ से हमें एक्चुअल कॉस्ट आ गई. और बीएसी क्या होता है? जो फाइनल आपकी पीवी होती है वो बीएसी होता है. कंप्लीशन टाइम ये कहाँ से आया? ये हमें शेड्यूल में से मिला. Okay, now we have to find out SV, percent SV, CV, these all values, and let's start with that. So schedule variance is EV minus PV. EV is 49,000 or PV is 55,000, hence SV is minus 6,000. So this minus is showing that we are behind schedule. And how much we are behind schedule? Percentage SV 11%. We are behind schedule, 11% behind the schedule. And then cost variance EV minus AC. EV is 49,000, 56,000 is AC. So we are having percent minus value. Minus CV means we are over budget. And how much? 14% over budget. Okay. Performance indicators, SPI is 89.89. Anything less than 1 is bad. So that means we are using our time up to 89%, not 100%. And we are using our cost up to 87%, not 100%. And CSI is 0.780. And we have talked that the more away you will go from 1, the more difficult it will become to manage your project. Okay. And EACT, remember we were having 12 months available with us, and now by using this formula we can see that with that progress we will finish our project in 13.47. Now that is amazing over there. Okay, we are just putting these values, and now we've started getting the values, and amazingly how much time we are in need of after whatever the time of 5 or 6 months, whatever has been stated in the question. You can now tell, okay, we are not going to complete our project in 12 months, but 13.47. And then EAC is, we were having this BAC, budget at completion, 2,30,000, लेकिन अब हम कह रहे हैं नहीं, ये प्रोजेक्ट हमारा 2,62,000 में ख़त्म होगा, और इसका एस्टिमेट टू कंप्लीट कितना है? वो है 2 लाख। आज के बाद से हमें इतने और पैसे चाहिए इसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए, और वेरिएंस कितना है? -32 जो हमने प्लान किया था। अब हमें 32,857 रुपये और चाहिए हैं, तो ये आप डिमांड कर सकते हैं। सो दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ दिस सिस्टम, and this is why this is ranked so high. So a few figures from the case study. We are going to do these case studies, okay? So we are just skimming these things, then making projections, a case study. Once a project is 10% complete, the overrun at completion will not be less than current overrun, okay? Once a project is 20% complete, the CPI does not vary from its current value by more than 10%. So these are defense acquisition universities, few outputs or the results of some research. So understanding the EVM matrices, we have discussed this thing in detail. So if CV is greater than 0 and CPI is greater than 1, then we are having under budget. If SVI is greater than 0 and SPI is greater than 1, we are ahead of schedule, under budget. If we are having this thing, but we are having CV less than 0 and CPI less than 1, then we are ahead of schedule, but we are under budget. So similarly, we can understand this table. This has already been discussed. Okay, so we have completed this part. This was missing the other day. We have learned how to do that, and then record resource using during project. This is what we have already done. Measure the physical work progress. This is we have already done. Credit EV according to EV technique. We have used that. Analyze and forecast cost and schedule performance. We have done that, and report performance problems and or take actions. Hence, we have completed all of these parameters in this class. Okay, so let's have a summary of today's lecture. We have discussed about and recapped about elements of earned value management system. There are 3 of them generally, but BAC is also part of that most of the time. So it is planned value, earned value, and actual cost. Then we have talked about earned value management techniques and discrete effort, proportioned effort, and level of effort. And discrete effort is further divided into four further techniques, and we had talked about those in detail and with examples. And then we had discussed about the usage of earned value management, and we have discussed about matrices and indices and forecasting formulas, and important variances are schedule variance and cost variance, and variance and completion. And schedule variance can be expressed, schedule and cost variance can be expressed as percentage as well. And if we are having negative schedule variances, then we are not doing good. So if we are having negative schedule variance, that means we are behind schedule, and if we are having positive schedule variance, then we are ahead of schedule. Similarly, we have talked about indices. If we are having SPI and CPI less than 1, that is not good. So SPI and CPI are indicators how efficiently we are using schedules or time resources and the financial resources available with us. So by using that all discussion, we have done then a case study, and that was quite straightforward. And then we have shown you EVMS matrices or tables, and that is quite explanation of what we have talked earlier. So that's it. Let's end this lecture with the end note of today, and that is success seems to be connected with actions. So if you are planning planning the stuff, but you are doing nothing, then you are not going to have that success until and unless you are working with the planning department of your project organization. And that's it. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.